Take responsibility for your emotions. You are the master of your mind. Consider this scenario. You started off late for office, and when you hit the highway, one after another drivers were cutting you off, thereby creating a further delay for you to reach office. And when you felt that, my God, I'm going to be late and my boss will be annoyed at me, you hit a traffic jam. By the time you cleared the neck of the jam, you had lost another 15 minutes. And when you crossed that point, you realized there was no real reason for the jam. There was a car parked on the side, and everybody who was passing by was turning to look at the car, as they say in America, the rubberneck traffic jam. So you started cursing all the drivers who delayed you further. Finally, when you reached your office building and you came to the elevator man said, "Sir, sorry, this lift is full, you come in the next round." You lost another 3 minutes. And when you reached your boss's office, he shouted at you. So it's natural you got into a bad mood. Who is responsible for the bad mood? All the drivers who cut you off? Or the people who turned their neck to look at the car? Or the elevator man who said you come in the next round? Or the boss who gave you a bit of his mind? Who is responsible for your bad mood? All of them? No. Ultimately, we have responsibility for our emotions. What is responsibility? The ability to respond. Which means that no matter what the external environment, you have a freedom to choose how to respond to it. It is by exercising this freedom that people elevate themselves. Very often, we don't realize that gap between the external environment and our internal response. So when somebody does something bad to us and we get into a bad mood, we think naturally, I have to get into a bad mood because somebody did something bad to me. But we don't realize there is a gap. No matter what anybody did to us, our response is our own choice. For we are human beings. We are not computer programs. Unfortunately, modern Western psychology has presented this programmed model. You know, the Pavlov's experiments? Ivan Pavlov, very famous, some of you must have read them in psychology, etc. He was actually trying to measure the amount of saliva that dogs generate when they eat. So when the food would be brought, a bell would also ring and the dog would be brought. And then when the food would be fed, he would measure the saliva. But over the course of a few days, the scientist, Mr. Pavlov, he discovered that even when the food is not brought, the ringing of the bell creates the dog to salivate. So he realized that the dog has gotten conditioned. The bell has conditioned the dog. Based on this, psychologists like Sigmund Freud, etc., presented their theories. So Sigmund Freud, who's considered the father of psychoanalysis, presented a very dismal theory. He said we were programmed in our childhood. When we experienced the impulses to excrete, to control excreta, to control the sex impulse, etc., we got programmed. And the way we got programmed is the way we are. We really can't do much about it, according to Sigmund Freud. So there are many theories of determinism. One of these theories states genetic determinism. Why are you always getting angry? Swamiji, it is in my genes. I am, Irish, or I am so and so. So this is how I have been programmed. It's not my fault, it's my grandfather's fault. So genetic determinism blames our nature on the genes. Then there is psychic determinism. Those who are votaries of psychic determinism say it's not my grandfather's fault, it's my father's and mother's fault. The way they brought me up, that is how I am. My father used to scold me so much. That is why I lack self-confidence, Swamiji. It is all my father's fault, it's not my fault. This is psychic determinism. And then there is environmental determinism. Environmental determinism states that it is all the environment. The economy is not doing well, and that is why my mood is miserable. Or the wrong party which I did not vote for got into power, and that is why I'm having all my problems, etc., etc. In other words, it's the environment which is to blame. So all these kinds of deterministic theories miss out on one fundamental point. We are human beings. Animals can get programmed. Human beings have been endowed with the free will to choose their programming. We can change the programs. God has blessed us with a free will, the freedom of choice. Besides that, we humans are blessed with the faculty of self-awareness. I know I am getting negative emotions. I can be aware of them. Animals may not. God has endowed human beings with the faculty of conscience. The conscience pricks us. This is wrong. God has endowed us with the faculty of self-analysis. With the help of all of these, we can change every program, whether it was a genetic program or an environmental program. We can always choose how to respond. When we understand this freedom we have, then we are no longer slaves to the mind. We have the ability to force the mind to surrender. Oh, my dear mind, I will not think the way you want. I will make you think the way I want. You take responsibility for your emotions and get out of the blaming game. Henceforth, no matter what the environment, if I cultivate negative thoughts, I alone am responsible and I need to make amends for it.